Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Are Liverpool in crisis? The short answer is, of course they are. This is a team that wants to win Champions Leagues. This is a team that wants to be challenging for Premier Leagues. They're not challenging for the Premier League. Therefore, for the club of the size of Liverpool and the status of Jurgen Klopp, of course this is a crisis. And I would argue it with any Liverpool fan who sits there and says, stop over-egging the pudding. We're not in a bad situation. You are in a bad situation. You're not in the top four. If Man United and Newcastle win tonight, then the gap becomes bigger than 7 points. And the reason Liverpool are in crisis is twofold for me. One, that midfield, which I'll talk about in a minute. And two, unfortunately for them, they are playing catch up in a league that is ridiculously hard to catch up in. I mean, look, a bit of positive news. Liverpool have actually won 4 of their last 5 games. Winning 4 of your last 5 games in this Premier League season is actually very, very good. In fact, the only club that's done that is Manchester United, Arsenal, and Newcastle. They've all won 4 or more in their last 5 games. Even Man City have drawn 1 and lost 1. So Liverpool's form over the last 5 games is actually very, very good. But as I say, the issue is they're playing catch up in a season where you don't want to be playing catch up. There's a lot of games to play. And anybody can beat anybody, and you don't want to be making up 7 points, 5 points, whatever Liverpool have got to make up. So they are in a crisis. They're in a crisis because they're not in top 4. They've got to be in top 4. They've got Real Madrid in the Champions Leagues, the holder. They're playing Real Madrid, and then they're not in the top 4. It's a crisis if Liverpool are not in the Champions League. If they have aspirations of buying Jude Bellingham and being successful, then they need to be in the Champions League. So of course it's a crisis. The question is, why is it a crisis? And is it an avertible crisis? Well, it is. It is, because we're not even halfway through the Premier League season yet. I think their next 5 Premier League games will dictate their season. They've got Brighton away. Obviously, they play FA Cup at the weekend. Then they've got Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Wolves away, Everton at home, and Newcastle away. Now, if they can win 4 out of 5 again, they won't be in the top 4, but it'll put them in a position where they can pounce. If they don't win 4 of their next 5, and look, Brighton away, Wolves away, Newcastle away is difficult. I'd expect them to beat Chelsea and Everton at Anfield. Then, of course, their position could worsen. The reality is, Liverpool are in this position because, and I can speak from very big experience here. Liverpool are in this position in the league at the moment because they have a midfield that no longer functions at the highest level. And what I mean by that is, I think Liverpool will get top 4. I've consistently said I think Liverpool will get top 4, and I'm not going to change my mind yet. I must admit, I'm not as confident as I maybe was a week or 2 ago. They are still massively vulnerable, and their vulnerability is in the worst area of the pitch. I look at Man United last year, and we're picking McTominay and Fred, and basically every opposition we played knew they had a chance of winning that game because games are won and lost in the midfield. We saw it with Leicester at Anfield a couple of games ago, where Henderson loses Dewsbury Hall. He makes a very good run and he ends up 1-on-1 and they score. And Liverpool could have dropped points there. I mean, it's 2 own goals that helped them out. So Liverpool's vulnerability is their midfield. They are not winning the midfield battle, and therefore every team, whether you are Leicester, Brentford, Manchester United, Manchester City, if you play Liverpool, you know you can win the midfield battle. And if you win the midfield battle, you can get at their defence. Now, the casual football observer will sit there and say Liverpool's defence isn't as good as it used to be. Well, that's just such an easy takeaway. The question is, why is it not as good as it used to be? And it's not as good as it used to be because it's not getting the protection it needs from the midfield. Liverpool's defence has always been a high line. Liverpool's fullbacks have always been like wingers. And that's worked. And it works for Man United at the moment because we've got Casemiro. But that's worked because they had Henderson playing a lot better, Fabinho playing a lot better. They've lost both those 2 players in the last season. Henderson's fell off a lot. Fabinho has fell off a cliff. I don't know what's happened to him. For me, he's one of the best CDMs in the world last season, and for the previous seasons before that. This year, they've massively missed Fabinho, and they're just not functioning in the midfield, and it makes them very gettable, if that is a word. And that's the problem Liverpool have got. I do think that their attack, which has had to adjust and has had a lot of injuries. Diaz is a fantastic player. Jota's very important. They've been out for a long period of time. Gakpo obviously will help them out. I think in the attack, they will score goals. Even in the defence, I think they have options. They've got a very, very good goalkeeper, but in the midfield, they are crying out for help. Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago are very, very good, but for different reasons, they're very rarely consistently playing well together and providing a platform for the rest of the team. Harvey Elliott may be a player of the future, but he's not a player for the now. It's very difficult for a club like Liverpool to hit the January transfer window and do what Chelsea are about to do with Enzo Fernandez, but Liverpool are crying out for that. And I would say if you put Enzo Fernandez or a Frankie de Jong or a Jude Bellingham or a Caicedo or a Declan Rice into that Liverpool midfield now, they would comfortably get top four. And that's what leaves it open. Liverpool are in a crisis because top four is absolutely essential to them, and at the moment they're not there. And Liverpool fans can bury their head in the sand, or they can be Liverpool fans who are openly concerned. But the reason for it is a very simple reason. You have a very good back five, you have a very good attack, but you have a very, very suspect midfield this season. And games are won and lost in the midfield. And the reason your defence is getting exploited, and the reason people are saying Van Dijk's fell off and Trent's a crap defender, is because they're getting exploited by runners. That midfield is not protecting that back four. And if you've ever played as a defender in your life, you will know if you're left with your wingers and you're left with your forwards and your number 10s, that's your responsibility and you can deal with that. But if you've got runners from the midfield coming through as well, you're getting ambushed. You can't pick up everything and then you look bad because the midfielder runs through and scores. Or you go to the midfielder and they slip it through to the attacker who scores. Liverpool's defence is being hung out to dry. And yes, there are some vulnerabilities there. But this is also a Liverpool defence that for the last few years has been described as one of the best in the world. There hasn't a lot changed. I don't see Liverpool players falling off. Matip's still a very good centre-back. Robertson's still a very good full-back. Van Dijk's still a very good centre-back. Trent is what Trent is. I think he's a very good right-back. But they're getting exploited because that midfield is not protecting them. And how Klopp solves that issue over the next few weeks will dictate their season. And look, if you're saying that Liverpool will not get top four, I'm not saying that you're wrong. If you're saying that Liverpool will get top four like me, I'm not going to say I'm wrong or you're wrong. But it is in the balance. I would say at the moment we're not quite 50-50. I still think there's a 60% chance, maybe a little bit more, that Liverpool will get top four. But it's coming down. And if they don't solve the midfield, they will drop more points. And that's the second thing. Their first problem is their midfield. Their second problem is they're playing catch-up. How do you play catch-up on teams that have got points on the board? Previously, you could say, well, look, you could look at your run of fixtures and go, I can see 20 points from the next 24. That'll put us well into the top four. Nobody can look at the league fixtures now and go, we're going to take 20 from the next 24 points. You can't do it because you just don't know if you're going to go to Bournemouth and have a bad day. You don't know if Leeds are going to come to Anfield and give you a game. You just don't know. And you certainly don't know when your midfield is so inconsistent, because it doesn't matter how good your attack is, it doesn't matter how good your defence is. If a team comes and fancies it against you in the midfield, they'll get hold of the game. And if they get hold of the game, they'll create chances. And also, it's not just about conceding, it's about creating. People forget this. Liverpool are conceding goals because their midfield is not as strong as it needs to be. But they're not scoring as many goals because their midfield is not as strong as it needs to be. If you're a centre-back, your job is to defend. If you're a striker, your job is to attack. If you're a midfielder, your job is to defend and attack. The defence has to go through you to get the ball to the attack. And the opposition has to go through you to get your defence. And if you're failing on the defence, you'll be failing on the attack as well. They're not creating enough chances, and they are conceding too many chances, and that leaves Liverpool very, very vulnerable. As I said though, they have won 4 of their last 5. I look at that Brentford game, and I do sometimes think you can overreact. Manchester United got beat by Brentford in our second game of the season, and it was trauma. Ten Hag, is he good enough? They beat us 4-0. I think it was 4-0. I tried to forget. They beat us 4-0 with 30% possession. They beat Liverpool 3-1 with 27% possession. There is a way that Brentford play that can cause people problem. Liverpool need to put that result behind them and move on. Brighton's not a great place to have to go to do it, but they're going to have to do that. FA Cup, Liverpool, they're out the Carabao Cup. to be honest with you, I'm not sure that I'm not. I mean, it's a chance to win a trophy, isn't it? But they need to sort that midfield out. And if they sort that midfield out, I expect to see Liverpool really rev up and, you know, finish the season strongly. I mean, for Liverpool, they could get knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, and they're going to be a very dangerous team in late February, March, April, because they won't have Champions League football. But Liverpool are in a halfway house at the moment. They can win the FA Cup, they can win the Champions League, and they can get top four. But they can also get knocked out of all of those races and end up with nothing. And that is a mini crisis. And the crisis resides in their midfield. Are they planning on doing anything in January? I haven't heard. The problem with doing something in January with your midfield is it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And you are better off waiting till the summer. But by waiting till the summer, they might find themselves in the Europa League. And there are opportunities for teams like Newcastle and Manchester United. With their ownership model, Newcastle and Man United potentially under new owners, you don't want to be outside of the Champions League. And of course, Liverpool are looking at new owners themselves. Liverpool don't want to be there with new owners who want to invest, having to say, we are going to be in the Europa League because Man United and Newcastle are now in the Champions League and they've got loads of money as well. So it's a crucial next few weeks for Liverpool. Their midfield is the issue, but it's a very competitive league. Now that might play in their favour. Because if it's a competitive league, Newcastle can drop points, Man United could drop points, and that's their two targets that they're going for at the moment. But they've got to stop dropping points, and at the moment, they look vulnerable. They've got to solve that midfield issue. Get your comments in below. Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? I still think they'll get top four, but the chances are coming down. They've got to go on a good run of wins, and they've got to start applying some pressure, because at the moment, it's looking very good for Manchester and Newcastle United. Get your comments in below, smash a like, make sure you subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.